Okay, joining me today, Carl Munson on the Expats Portugal show is Jason Swan of Holborn Assets with a bit of a golden visa update. And people are keen to hear what's going on with the golden visa, Jason. I mean, it's not got any less exciting, is it?
Nope, there is a new story every day at the moment, Cal. But yeah, it's very exciting. And yeah, obviously more traffic and questions coming in than we've ever had.
Oh, excellent. Glad to hear it. Okay, so busy at Holborn Assets then, dealing with the Portuguese golden visa. Most recent news I can find is that the newspapers are saying that the politicians in Parliament are saying it's over. However, it's got to go to a constitutional level and the president has to have his say on this, and people are expecting that the president might push it back. What's your view on that? How are you seeing it, you and your colleagues there?
So yeah, the Prime Minister's made it crystal clear, of course, his intentions to end the programme. We've seen that now since back in February. The most recent announcement from the Prime Minister was very similar. Nothing major has changed since the preliminary draft. But it's important that people understand the government doesn't have, of course, the ability to change the law. It has now got to go through a point of being voted on by Parliament. Thereafter has to be approved by the President as well. The President actually, a couple of weeks back, came out with a bit of a surprise announcement, really, saying that he sees a lot of problems with the draft change in law. He feels it goes against constitutional law, and it'll be his kind of first priority to make sure that if any laws are passed, that they don't go against the Constitution. So the likelihood is, as it stands, should it pass Parliament, then it will be referred to the Constitutional Court. That will come back to the President. The President will have a few options then as to whether or not to accept it as it is, whether or not to send it back to Parliament and to the government to make some changes, or to entirely veto the plans in their entirety.
Amazing, isn't it? And that's his thing, isn't he? He is a lawyer himself, and he is an expert. His specialism is in the Constitution. So watch this space. And it is unfortunate, I think, how the papers together with the politicians have made it look like it's a done deal. It is certainly not a done deal. It's just how it's been presented. And that, I think, has continued to undermine confidence and not actually be very helpful for Portugal in the public eye.
Yeah, it's since February, Cal. I mean, I remember on the day of the announcement of the Prime Minister, I saw 3 headlines within 30 seconds on Google. The golden visa is finished. Portugal has finished the visa program. Like, oh my God, what's all this about?
Yeah.
And then you very quickly realise that there are various outlets that are looking to get attention, sell stories, and also, they don't always understand the procedures required to actually change the law. But yeah, we've been obviously bad news sells better than good news these days, and I've been hearing a lot of negativity since back in February. But there is a genuine concern at the moment, and rightly so, because if you're typing in Portugal golden visa on Google, you're not getting intricate breakdowns of the process of what needs to happen next for the law to change and how much time people have. It's just it's all panic mode. Again, like you say, Carl, the government have made it very clear that they want to end it, but it's not that goal.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of backlash. There's been a lot of backlash from pretty much every sector of Portugal. Obviously, the detriment, the negative impacts the withdrawal of the program would have on the economy, especially to tourism, the income, the lack of jobs. There's a real dark side to the removal of the program.
Yeah,
and a real question right now as to whether or not it would actually solve the housing prices and the housing price issue.
The crisis at the moment that's being talked about, of course, and we could get into that, but we won't right now. We've dealt with the clickbait issue and how the bad news sells headlines, but it's not a done deal. And the good news is you and your colleagues at Holborn Assets are taking applications, processes for the golden visa still. Tell us how that works now.
Yeah, well, as far as we're concerned, it's business as normal, Cal. We've actually been able to speed up the process now, so we can actually get things through from start to finish within as little as 2 weeks. Cool. Previously, it was taking kind of 2 to 3 months, a lot of which had to do with the delays by setting up a bank account to do that remotely. But yeah, we have a process in place now that can do it much, much quicker, way in advance of any potential changes in law. However, we've also amended our contracts now to give our clients an extra peace of mind that should the program be unexpectedly withdrawn before an application can be submitted, that we will be fully refunding both legal fees and any deposits paid. In that very unlikely event, should it happen, you've got nothing to lose.
That's very thoughtful. Excellent. And then the sort of reassurance I think that is needed given the blow to confidence that the government has brought. Tell us more then about what's available, what people can get involved with in terms of their investment here in Portugal.
Well, to qualify for the programme, you've still got to invest from 280,000. At the moment, there are still one or two developments left at 280,000 where you can buy a share in a hotel. And with the share option, you have the initial taxes paid by the developer. Also has a guaranteed buyback. So the moment that you have your passports received in 5 to 6 years' time, you have that capital returned back to you. And at the moment, one of the developments is offering an upfront rental payment of €30,000 as well on completion. So we are selling officially the lowest capital entry point to the visa. There's been one unit come back up for sale just this morning at a development in Alvor, which is a 4-star hotel right in the heart of the Algarve as well, which is again at 280. It comes with all the taxes paid. Also the option to keep the property for a rental income after you receive the passport as well, with an optional buyback should it be required. Everything else is kind of sold out, Carl, unfortunately. I normally talk about the Royal Obidos.
Yes.
But the real problem that we're having now is that since February, no new developers are. They're not bringing any new properties. They're not building. They can't release any new hotels or developments until they know exactly how long they're going to have to sell them. So at the moment, unless the program is extended until the end of this year, we're not expecting any new stock to come available.
Okay.
So once it's gone, it's gone. Which hopefully we do get that extension, but we don't know for sure.
So you have a limited inventory, but there are some options available. And you've sped up the process too, which is incredible. And you've given the peace of mind that people's investments will be refunded in the worst case scenario. What else can you tell us about what's required of people before we move on to how wonderful it is down there in Alvor? Because I think that's a favourite part of the country for you, isn't it? So what else do people need to know about with the technicalities?
We try and make a very difficult process as simple as we can, Carl. I mean, my team takes care of the full process from helping find the investment. Of course, within my team, you have the legal work as well. We help set up the bank account. We do the tax numbers. We do the residency and citizenship application. We cater for any translation services. And of course, the lawyer will accompany our clients to CEF when they're due for the biometrics appointment during the process as well. So yeah, you have myself kind of holding your hand right through the process along with my team as well. The only time at which our clients physically need to kind of leave the home, as it were, is once they have to fly to Portugal to do the fingerprints and the photo for the visa.
So basically the things that they have to be here for, and apart from that, you take care of everything else.
Yep, we do our best. There's some things we can't do, but in the main, we do what we can.
Superb. So peace of mind and doing all the hard work on the client's behalf there. Alvor, you mentioned. You and I were having a quick chat before we started recording here. We love living in Portugal, but it's Easter weekend. The sun has been out this week, and we realised, I think, anew and afresh why it is we chose this wonderful country. Tell us about that bit of yours down there and what's so wonderful about that part of the Algarve.
As you can probably tell from my new Caribbean tan I'm sporting at the moment, I've been out in the sun, Carl. Last time we spoke, I looked like a ghost. I'm not doing too bad now, but no, it's obviously the sun is out. The sun is out, and it's the Easter weekend. As soon as Easter weekend comes around, it's just the sun arrives, and you start to remember why we moved here in the first place. I've started to forget when no one's here through the winter.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, let's talk about that for a moment. The quality of life here, because there is the focus on the business side of the golden visa, and the important thing is what you have access to coming to Portugal. And I think you're absolutely right with that milestone of Easter weekend. Something happens here. The quality of life is great, and then something happens to turbocharge it. It seems at the Easter weekend, the kids are off school, the sun seems to be out. And that wonderful quality of life and the loveliness of the Portuguese people is evident. Is that what's going on around you at the moment? That's when you step out of your office, of course.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and everyone's, I think, a little bit different to where I was. I was in Spain before Portugal for 5 years, and I found the Portuguese are always really welcoming. They really appreciate English speakers. I think Portuguese study English in school, unlike the Spanish, so they're quite welcome to practice their English when you're in the restaurants and things like this. And of course, tourism generally is a big plus for the locals as well. So yeah, really welcome, and everyone's now back open. It's literally summer arrived this week, which is great.
Yeah, it's superb. And on that quality of life matter, I was having a conversation actually only this morning, comparing the coasts of down there in the south of Spain and Portugal. And something's happened in Portugal, hasn't it, to kind of make planning and progress a little bit slower or a little bit more selective. I don't want us to be too sort of snobby here, but I think that in terms of quality of life of planning and how it looks down there in the Algarve, it's a bit prettier, isn't it, than some of the overdevelopment you might see along the coast there in Spain.
I would tend to agree. Yeah, it's I don't know what it is with Portugal, but I just feel a lot more at home. It feels a lot greener, if that makes any sense. It is a lot greener of a place, a lot more like the greens of England. But yeah, it's very picturesque right across the coast. There's no poor areas, if you like. It's whether you're going right from Tavira right across to Lagos and Land's End, you're not going to go far wrong anywhere on the coast. Obviously, Albufeira and Albo are my personal favourites, but like I say, can't go far wrong no matter where you are on the coast.
Fantastic. All right, well, thank you for that update. Best way for people to follow up on this, now that you've reassured people, it is still possible to apply. You'll make it as easy as possible for people at Holborn Assets. What's the best way for them to get in touch? Obviously, you're in the business director at Expats Portugal, but do you want to give any details out for people to contact you on?
Yeah, of course. Best shot is just drop me a quick email with any questions. Happy to help where I can. It's my name, Jason .Swan, SWAN, at holbornassets.com. You'll see a number of webinars, of course, on the website as well. Caveat, email's fine. WhatsApp 0034. Still have my Spanish number at the moment. 0034 634 318597. That'll be fine.
That's the Golden Visa hotline, basically, there through to Jason Swan of Holborn Assets. Before you go out and busy day down there. Before you go out and top up that Caribbean suntan, anything else we need to let people know about the Golden Visa?
Just don't believe everything I suppose you hear in the press at the moment. Make sure you get the facts from the experts. We do have our ear to the ground, so we know exactly what's going on. We understand the law, we understand the process. We can give a clear guidance and understanding of what you can and cannot do at each point. And but first and foremost, we'll give you good advice to help make an educated decision as to how to proceed.
Terrific. Thank you. Always great to talk to you, Jason. Go out and enjoy that the Algarve vibe down there, and look forward to speaking to you again soon. Take care. Bye for now.
Thanks, Kat. See you soon.